Okay, so it's the 11th of October today, it's a Sunday, and I'm doing some sewing, or sewing planning anyway. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get some sewing done today. I've come upstairs into my office slash craft room. The light's not great in here, although we seem to be coping not too badly on the camera. So I've been digging around, getting out my next sewing projects and all the bits together I need for them. The first one, it took me over an hour to find a zip, but I found it. It was in some really random place, but I managed to find it. So the first project I've got planned is a sweatshirt hoodie type thing using this fabric. Let me get it the right way up, see if it'll focus. It's like a navy, slightly lighter than navy blue, with these little witches on broomsticks, and I bought this last autumn to make a sweatshirt with, and I haven't got around to doing it yet. So it is a, it's not 100% cotton, but it's almost 100% cotton with some elastin in, so it has got some stretch, and it's got like a fleecy backing on it, like a, it's not fleece because it's not polyester, but it's like got a fluffy inside, and it's quite thin, you know, so it'll be a nice in the house sort of sweater to be able to throw on over sweatpants, because I'm either usually in a dress or sweatpants, sometimes both, but not very often. So I have that, and I have a very long navy blue zip to go with it, and fortunately I had thought when I bought this, it's one that actually comes open at the end, so unzip it. It comes apart into two pieces. My husband asked me after I bought it whether I'd bought a zip that actually undid at the bottom, and I thought I didn't check that, but fortunately I had, so we're okay. I've got some 2-inch elastic which I'll be using for the cuffs and the bottom of the sweater, but they will be enclosed in fabric too, it won't just be elastic on shore. I haven't got a pattern for this, so what I'm doing instead is I'm using 2 hooded sweaters as guides, kind of as templates. So these, they've got this one, which is my husband's. This is, we're struggling for light today, so I do apologise. This is my husband's, it's all upside down. Just a, you know, like a basic hooded sweater. And I like the fit of this one. But I don't like the elastic on the bottom. It's got, you know, like a ribbed, stretchy rib bottom, and it means that the bottom is slightly narrower than the sweater itself, which sounds okay, but when you're wearing it, it just doesn't sit as nicely as I would like it, and it will ride up if zipped up. Will ride up sweatpants. But I like the sleeve length on this one, and I like the cuffs and the sleeve length, so everything else proportionate wise is right, but I'm not so fussed on the bottom. So what I've got, I'll check that over there, is the hooded sweater of mine, which is a bit oversized. The sleeves are too, I mean, this is a, I'm assuming a men's one, it's quite old this one now. The sleeves are too long for me. Actually I don't know if the one over there is a raglan sleeve or not, but I will work with what I have. The sleeves are too long on it, and the cuffs are too baggy, whereas the cuffs on that one are just right, enough to be able to push them up, because I usually push my sleeves up. But the bottom has, I don't know if it's got an piece of elastic in it. I think it has wide elastic in it with this, either that or it is elastic. It's very strange. It's got like this maybe it is it's like a blue elastic. Anyway, so it's much heavier weight on the bottom, which makes it hang better, but also when you close it up, you can see that the bottom, the hem, this elastic part is the same width as the sweater going down. There's no cinch in at the bottom, which I prefer, so I'm going to use those 2 as a guide. When I bought the fabric that I'm going to I'm just chucking things on the floor. I didn't mean to on the floor. When I bought this, I don't think I took into account whether or not I would have enough fabric for a hood or even sleeves. I think I did. I only bought a couple of meters, so did I buy 2 meters or did I buy 1? I hope I bought more than 1. I bought 1. This might be tight. Hopefully I will have enough for sleeves. Otherwise, it might be like a vest style sweater. So we shall have to see how far this fabric goes once I've cut out the main body parts, because there is only one way up for this fabric. So I'm going to be limited. You might end up with upside down broomsticks on the sleeves. So I have that to do. Secondly, I want to make another face mask. I have 2 face masks. I have one to have in my handbag and one for the wash, but I feel like I need a 3rd one. So what I'm going to do is make one with some Halloween fabric, but I'll still wear it all year round because, you know, I like Halloween. So I picked out some fabrics. I've got these small, they're like quilting squares. They're not really squares, they're rectangles. That one's got a piece took out of it. Of fabric. They're not very big. I bought them as a set, and this is what I've got left over. So I've got like a mustardy colour with little pumpkins and such like on, and some sagey green with like pumpkins and witches and such like on, and I've got some like a navy blue and some brown. I don't think I'll use the brown because I already have a brown face mask, but it's got little suns and stars, moons and stars on, and a navy blue one with moons and stars. I might use that one. That's quite pretty. There's that one. So I need to choose which fabric I'm going to use for that. I've also got a dress that I'm desperate to get made up, and it is the Colette pattern called Wren. And this is not a very good picture on the front of here to show what the final dress looks like. I'll just find a picture to show you better on my phone. Okay, you can kind of see there, it's kind of like a wrap over dress with like a solid skirt, so a wrap over at the top and solid skirt. There's 2 versions. There's this version which has got like a clingy skirt to it, like a shift style, and there's also a version with more of a gathered skirt on it, which is probably what I'll end up going with. It depends on how much fabric is in the more clingy version of it, because on the smaller size it obviously looks very clingy, but I'll have to see how much yardage is used in the skirt part of the larger sizes. So the fabric I'm going to be using is some that I bought at the same time as the other fabric actually, which is this one, which is I don't know what you would call that green. It's almost a taily green, but it's not quite. Background, in fact there's so many flowers on it you can't see the background very well, with these little rusty brown and mustard white green little ditzy flowers on it. And I want to get this done fairly quickly, and I've been putting off doing this pattern, not specifically this pattern, but putting it off doing it because I thought it would take longer to do than it actually will. I've made a couple of versions of the penny dress, which is very much a structured dress. It has a collar on it. It's not made in a stretchy fabric. This is a stretchy fabric, and it's got a lot of construction, lots of pieces. This is a 90 something, 92% cotton I think, and 8% elastane. 8% elastane, that didn't sound right. Anyway, it's got a small amount of elastane in it, so it's stretchy, but it's quite firm stretchy. It's not like a jersey cotton can sometimes be quite saggy. It'll lose its shape quite easily. And I thought the Colette was going to be another one of these patterns that would take me quite a while to cut all the pieces out of the pattern, cut all the pieces out of the fabric, and then construct it. But when I looked at this, I realised there's actually only, I think, about 4 pieces to the whole pattern. Depending on which version, the more fitted version has more pieces because they're seamed, so it's shaped. So that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 pieces, and version 2, which is more of the gathered skirt, only has 6 pieces. You can see there. So you've got the top pieces there on both dresses. You've got 4 panels there for the version 1 and those for version 2, and there seems to be a sleeve piece as well because there is a sleeve version. I don't think there's a picture of the sleeve version in here. Photo, there is just a diagram picture which you can see there. So I haven't decided if I'm putting sleeves on it. It'll be very much similar in style to the one I'm wearing now. This one has like a tulip sleeve on it, which I like when I'm not wearing a cardigan, but from wearing a cardigan you've got to like kind of push everything in and what have you. So I haven't decided whether I'm putting sleeves on or not. Again, it'll be dependent upon how much fabric I've got, although I do believe I've got 2 meters of this, which should be more than enough, because there's no linings or anything like that to do, no facings to do as far as I'm aware, and because it's not directional like the witchy one is, it shouldn't take as long to sew. I mean, it shouldn't take as much fabric. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the pattern pieces, the paper pieces, and I'm going to use this dress, which doesn't fit at all. It's an awful shape and it doesn't fit. It's too long and everything. So I'm going to deconstruct this, cut off the skirt. I'm not going to adjust the skirt because I've made a few skirts and dresses for skirts on, so I don't need to test the skirt pattern pieces on that. So I'll just cut off the skirt and cut out the bodice pieces for this and try and cut them out of the bodice pieces of this, sew it all back together, and it'll give me a good idea of the fit before I cut into my main fabric. And I think that's about it. I don't want to ruin this fabric, so I'm going to cut out the paper pieces for this, and I'm going to try and find my pattern for face masks, which I don't know where I've put, and I might, if I've got time, get started on the sweatshirt, but we'll see how we go. Front bodice sections from the original bodice sections and just cut off the excess fabric. That's the second one there. And I've cut the back piece, but the problem with the back piece is the original dress, the back was much narrower than this one. So if I flip this over, you can see just how much narrower the original bodice was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fabric from one of the sleeves that I cut off to create a center panel in the back of the bodice. This is just a test, like a muslin, but I'm going to make it a wearable muslin. So that's why I don't mind chopping it up. I can still wear it, it'll still look perfectly fine, except that this one will have this centre panel in the back where the finished dress shouldn't, or hopefully if we've got enough fabric it shouldn't, but it shouldn't. So all I need to do now is figure out how much extra of this I need, and then I can sew those pieces all together. So I managed to get enough fabric out of this to make a non-hooded sweatshirt anyway. So I've got the back piece here, which I've cut out on the fold. I've got my 2 side pieces, and I managed to squeeze out enough pieces to make 3/4 sleeves. Didn't have enough to make whole sleeves, but that's fine because I push my sleeves up anyway to 3/4 sleeves. So I've got 4 panels there. Obviously there'll be seams on the top and underarm of the sleeves, but that doesn't bother me either. Which way up the witches are, who knows, but I'll try and get them aligned as best I can, although I suspect they're going to be upside down on the sleeves, but it doesn't matter. I even have a small amount of fabric left over here. I might be able to get a couple of pockets for the front, possibly. If not, there still should be some little bits and pieces. I need to make some sort of collar finish on the top because I've used a hooded sweater as a guide, so the neckline is going to be a little bit odd if I just seamed it as it was. So I will put like a shaped collar like you would get on like a sports, I don't know what you would call them, like a, we have like sports jackets for roller derby, and they've got this like elasticated ribbed collar, like a half moon shape attached to them rather than hoods. So I might do something similar to that with my leftover pieces.